Yeah, some people do have sensitivities to like the fat, because if you touch, like I've trimmed sheep before, and like my arms will touch their body, and afterwards like you can feel the greasiness from their fleece. Alpacas and llamas don't seem to have that oily substance on their fleece.
I'm not
coat.
touching sheep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. Now I want a wool shirt by alpaca. How long have you been doing this?
Almost 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been hunting?
Since 2009, I've had my license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So you were a carer of animals,
Yes.
of sorts, and
Don't
then you
say it.
moved into the hunting world.
Yeah.
And so how did that transformation work?
Well, it's unusual because I was anti everything. I was anti hunting. I was anti taxidermy. You know, I thought it was the most horrible thing I'd ever seen in my life. Like, how could you kill an animal?
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Totally.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't really have the education I needed regarding that topic until I moved out to the country. And I started having issues with varmints. So raccoons carry nematodes and all sorts of other disgusting things in their feces, right?
Just a second. Horses have frogs, and raccoons have toads. Nematode.
It's a parasite.
Rod-
Attacks your brain. Not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
Sorry, I'm trying to joke.
No, it's
All
good.
right. Toads and frogs.
Name it.
And we love reptiles and
Name a
amphibians.
toad. I don't
so
know
we're
any
good.
toads.
So I had these big blue barrels and I put the horse feed in them. And unfortunately, like the barn is pretty old, so there was a hole in the side of the barn. So the cats could come in and out as they pleased, but also raccoons could come in and out. So, you know, I'd go in the barn in the morning and all my feed tubs would be knocked over. And the raccoons would go in there and do their business. And I could not utilize the horse feed at all now because I was scared that I could contaminate or make my horses sick from the raccoon defecating in the feed bucket, in the feed barrel, right? So I kept having to call the neighbor over. I'm sorry, there's another raccoon. Can you please come? And my dog started having issues. My dog that has now, well, she passed away a few years ago now, but she kept getting attacked by coyotes.
Okay.
Like ripped apart. It was horrible.
Oh my God.
You know, I didn't get my hunting license and my firearms license with you know, the thought of going out and hunting deer and stuff. I got it because I wanted to protect myself.
Sure.
From
And your
varmints.
animals.
Yeah, big time. So it kind of snowballed from I got my license and I started hunting turkeys with my friend Paul, and it snowballed from that to bear and moose hunting. And in 2011, I started doing taxidermy, and I met Richard Riom, who's like the best guy in the entire world.
Shout out to Richard.
Hi, Richard.
What's up, Rich?
Richard. So he started teaching me taxidermy, and in that year in November, he says, "Babe, I gotta take you deer hunting." I'm like, "No, I don't want to go. Like, I'm really scared to shoot a bow. I don't want to shoot a bow. That's really scary." "No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." So we went over to his brother Bert's, and he gave me this little crossbow. I think it was like an Excalibur Vixen. It's like 150 pounds of resistance of pullback. It's the easiest bow to shoot, right? So I go and I sight this bow in, and he takes me to his favorite spot. And that night, I shot a deer.
Oh, wow.
The very first time.
Oh,
It
wow.
came out, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" I couldn't move. I was like, "What do I do? I've never shot a deer before." Get the crossbow up, and think, jumps, runs away. I saw the arrow sticking out of it. And I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent.
No, it's good.
We'll go back.
So
We got time.
I call Richard. He says, "What's up?" I said, "I just shot a deer and it had horns." "Oh," he says, "awesome. I'll be right there." So he comes with the ATV, and we go look for this deer, and there was no blood trail. We couldn't find this thing. We looked for it 2 hours. We couldn't find it. And he says, "Come back in the morning. We'll look in the morning." I said, "Okay." Go home, and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I just shoot a deer for the first time, and this is the experience that I have. Horrible. Like, I couldn't sleep. I went on the internet. I went and looked at anatomy pictures to make sure that I'd actually shot the deer in the place I thought I had. So it was just bad. So the next morning I go out, and he comes down from his tree stand like 8:30, comes up to the road, meets me, we go back. And I go up in the tree stand, and he says, "Where was the last place you saw the deer?" So I yell at him. "It's way over here." He says, "Grab the toilet paper." I said, "Why do you need toilet paper?" You know? So get down from the tree, hand him the toilet paper. He says, "This is what we're going to make our breadcrumb trail with." So you put little pieces of toilet paper. We still
Okay.
do it now because it shines like super bright in the tree, but you just lose little pieces and it's biodegradable, right?
Right.
So we start looking and I'm looking and I said, oh my God, it's right there. We had walked by it 10 times that night. He's like, oh my God. And he's, 6 foot,
Wow.
covered in tats, big old beard, scary looking fella, picks me right up off the ground. And it was just the greatest moment. Like, I'll never forget that in my entire life. It was just
Aw.
10 out of 10. Yeah. Till the day I die, that's like probably one of the best moments of my whole life.
Wicked.